Hey guys, thanks for joining me. You may be asked to create a process that refreshes a couple of tables from a big database warehouse. You don't want to restore that entire terabyte database to the server that you need only a couple tables from. How do we do that? Well, I'll show you how to do that with Microsoft SQL Server BACPACs. So stick around. We're going to look at the guts of it. There's some special gotchas that you'll want to pay attention to when you're doing this backpack process. And also we'll put it all together. I'll show you how to do that with an agent job on SQL Server. First thing we'll do is we'll pick a table out of the AdventureWorks 2017 database. And the table we'll pick is human resources.employee. That looks like it has about 290 rows in it. Let's go ahead and try that one. So if you'll go open up a command prompt, and it's going to be in your bin directory on your SQL Server. So anyway, you can get this is different on everybody's systems. Let me take you back with my command prompt, and I'll show you where I found it. So eventually we found it in program files, Microsoft SQL Server 150 DAC, and then in the bin. So what we're looking for is a SQL package executable. And if we go ahead and run that with certain parameters, and it doesn't extract, and then you got a gotcha here. And if we look at the gotcha, it says unsupported elements, so there's a foreign key. Let's run a script. So let's flip over to the database and let's run this foreign key dependency script. And if we look at the script, we'll see that human resources.employee has a constraint on it, and it's from the person.person table. And the person.person table will be one of those tables we also need to get. And then if we look at the person.person, it also has a dependency on person.business entity. So that's another table we'll need to get. So far we need 3 different tables. And then if we look for person.business entity, you'll find that it's not on the list. So I think we're fine now with the dependencies. So running this script is very important. Okay, let's try that again. Let's do the export with the 2 additional tables and see if that works. It'll take a moment, and then finally we have success that it exported it, and we called it demotables.backpack. And right now, let's go ahead and take a look at a backpack. So what you'll want to do is open up where you saved that backpack file, rename the extension backpack to .zip. This is a little trick you'll have to do. It's going to throw up an error message saying it's unstable. Don't worry about that. Go ahead and just do it. Then extract it out. And what's in here is a bunch of metadata, some XML stuff. And if we look at one of the XMLs like model XML, you'll see that this is just the schema for the data. So all backpacks will have this information in it. And just looking at a few of it, we'll scroll down real quick. So this isn't the important piece. The important piece is here in the data file. And if we look at person.person, look in here. There's all these BCP files. Now these BCP files are exactly what Microsoft SQL Server's been using from when they first had BCP come out. So that's how it does it. All these compressed BCP files is how it looks. So there's not a big mystery to these backpack files. They're just very compressed files. So the next step is to do the import over to your second instance. So my second instance is called tantrums. I'm not very creative for the second instance, but I wanted to make this demo very easy. So Here's what it looks like. And notice there's no databases over here. So what we're going to do, what this backpack is going to do, it's going to import a database, whatever we call that database, it's going to create it, and it's only going to bring it across those 3 tables. So here's the command line, do the import, let it initialize, and then it starts. And then here's another gotcha. There are some full text indexes on this table. We want to be able to bypass that. So what we're going to do for this demo is just drop those full text indexes, and I'll have the script linked here for you. So don't worry about that. But if you see, there's 3 full text indexes on 3 different tables. All right, once we've dropped those, let's double check it to make sure there's no full text indexes that exist on that database. And you can tell we don't have any. Now we should be good to go. Okay. Once we do that, then we got to restart our export and then our import again. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's switch it and do the export again from the original source. And then there's the backpack. Now we can switch it, do the import. And then once we start the import, hopefully we'll have some success. But here, there's going to be one more gotcha. Since we already attempted to do an import, that database already exists. So this is what you're seeing. Another big red highlighted text here. And that just means that, hey, that table's still there. Let's refresh it. And you'll see there's some tables database. We need to do a script and drop it. And then see it's gone. Now we can start our import again. It's important for me to go over this with you because there's going to be a few gotchas that you'll want to be aware of, and you don't want that to hinder how you get this scripted out, because there's going to be some of these steps that you're going to do for the automation steps. And there it is, successfully imported. It doesn't take too long, but notice this command line. You can see all those tables that it's looking like it's pulling over, and it's actually pulling those tables over. It's pulling those tables, the indexes, everything else, but the only difference is it's not pulling over the data. Notice the row counts. The 3 tables that we pulled over, we have row counts, and the business entity has the most with 20,777. And employees, that's the only table we really wanted, but we had to pull over the other ones. Okay, so we have those tables. Next up on our agenda is to create an automated process. Automation is key here. All right, so let's give it a name for the job, and we're just going to call it refresh tables. We're not going to get really creative. Refresh tables with backpack. And then we're going to give it a few steps. So the first step we're going to do is the export step. And we're going to do this with PowerShell. So the same command line steps that we use, you're going to use that exact command line. We're going to use that in PowerShell. So just paste that in there if you have it. If not, you can create it new on its own. The only thing I'm going to warn you about is that you definitely have to cd into the bin file so that you can run the SQL package executable. The next step is to drop the table, if it exists, in the destination server. So the destination instance, and you saw that if there was already a database there called whatever you were going to call it, then it will give you an error. So drop the database, and then finally the third step is to go ahead and do the import into the second instance or the destination instance. And we'll give it a very creative name here: import DACPAC or database backpack. And again, this is PowerShell. You're gonna have to cd into the right executable, same as before, and then run the import. And then let's test this out. Should only take a few moments. So again, let me emphasize, it's bringing over all the tables and all the indexes in the database. The only data you're bringing over is from those 3 tables. And there we go. Just from our automated process, we can see we have success. Once the job is done, then you can go back in and verify the counts. And it should have the same counts as when you ran it manually from the command prompt. Let's review the checklist. We've exported 3 tables with the backpacks using the command prompt, identified table constraints with T-SQL, reviewed the insides of a backpack, the guts of it, identified full text indexes with T-SQL, and finally we set up an automated refresh. Congratulations, you found an easier way to copy over a few tables using backpacks. Thanks a lot for watching the video. Put your comments down below.